Welcome to VSB News Online for Tuesday, December 30th. I'm Peter Cattell. Armed police officers converged on Court and Princess Streets this afternoon with search warrants. They sealed off all streets near the area, and after what appeared to be a 45-minute standoff, 3 men emerged from a building and were escorted unmanacled to a police van. Police Inspector Robert Cardwell takes up the story.
As a result of specific intelligence that came to our attention, this afternoon we executed a warrant at a residence behind me. That warrant involved the deployment of a number of armed police assets as a result of the risk assessments that were done prior to the execution of the warrant. Nobody has been arrested as a result of that warrant, but 3 men are accompanying us to the station on unrelated matters. This is a matter to progress an investigation that's being conducted by Serious Crime, but I can't speak specifically as to what that investigation is.
A 19-year-old male motorcyclist is fighting for his life in the intensive care unit of the King Edward Hospital after being seriously injured in the early hours of this morning in a single-vehicle road traffic accident. Although details of the collision are sketchy at this time, it appears the young man lost control of his motorcycle on South Road, Devonshire, near the junction with Gables Lane. He was rushed to the hospital via ambulance, where he is listed in critical condition. Police are appealing for anyone who may have witnessed this incident to phone the Roads Policing Unit at 295-0011. The public behaved in a very responsible manner during the Christmas holidays, this according to Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Martin Weeks. He told a press briefing that apart from 2 serious accidents, one which occurred today, the holiday was incident-free.
We're very pleased to report that the Christmas period passed with very few incidents of violence, and we'd like to thank the public for their support. The Bermuda Police Service, assisted by the Bermuda Reserve Police, deployed extra crime prevention patrols throughout the time leading up to the holiday weekend, and whilst there were some minor incidents, they were swiftly dealt with. It should be noted that whilst people generally drove in a safe manner over the holiday and the BPS worked to monitor traffic offences, there were still examples of poor driving behaviour exhibited, and I am unhappy to report that there were 2 serious single vehicle collisions recorded over the period, with people remaining in the intensive care unit at this time, including one of them last night.
With New Year's Eve on the horizon, Mr. Weeks advised that the police will be maintaining a strong visible presence to sort out revellers who engaged in antisocial behaviour.
We will of course be monitoring the roads and must remind the motoring public of the dangers of driving whilst impaired through drink and drugs. The New Year's celebrations are often associated with unhealthy levels of alcohol consumption, inevitably leading to incidences of violence and poor driving behaviours and putting people at risk. If you plan to drink, we urge you to plan not to drive home. Whilst the majority of the island's residents will celebrate the New Year responsibly, we would like to put on notice the small but persistent group who insist on behaving in ways that impinge on others' celebrations, and that anyone found to be committing offences will be arrested and put before the courts. We ask that you consider your neighbours while holding New Year's Eve parties, and in the same vein, we ask householders to have some tolerance of those who decide to hold gatherings to celebrate the New Year's Eve celebration. To conclude, I urge the public to please do your part by acting responsibly, making good decisions, having tolerance of your neighbours, and in the case of crime, if you see something, say something.
And we'll be back with more news right after this.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
The national tourism plan that is being used as its Bible by the Bermuda Tourism Authority does not address specifically the threat that could exist to the island's marketing plans by the appearance of Cuba as an approved destination for Americans after 50 years of alienation. VSB News' Brian Darby has been looking at the stats.
In the light of the recent rapprochement between United States and Cuba, the Bermuda Tourism Authority will not be the only people wondering what this could mean to the future of American tourism and its effect on the other resort destinations in the region. It is worth considering the fact that Cuba attracted close to 3 million visitors in 2013 and expects that number to have risen 3% in 2014. Over 1 million of these people came from Canada, with the United Kingdom second on 150,000 and Germany with 116,000. In all, 22 countries sent at least 10,000 visitors to the island last year, including the United States, with a total of 92,000, even though it's technically illegal for an American to vacation in Cuba. The Bermuda Tourism Authority will doubtless be working on a contingency plan for when Cuba opens its doors, but in the meantime might investigate what attracted 1.1 million Canadians to travel there last year, while less than 30,000 chose Bermuda. Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
In his first 3 months as Bermuda's first full-time oncologist, Dr. Sain Ong has encountered more rare cases of cancer than he has seen in his entire 15 years as a cancer specialist. In the second part of an exclusive interview, he discusses with VSB News' Brian Darby why Bermuda has one of the highest instances of cancer in the world.
One thing I want to point out is some of the radiation treatment is urgent. See, so in emergency setting, we don't want to wait for 2 days, 3 days. We can treat immediately here. And in emergency setting, like spinal cord compression, brain meds with the seizure patient, that kind of setting, you can stay sent to overseas, but it will be really plus if we can treat here.
Would you like to bring in surgeons and others from overseas on a regular basis?
Of course, our surgeons are also great. We have the multidisciplinary tumor meeting. We started here. We've seen, our surgeons are really good. So, of course, there are some, specialty that we cannot, provide here, and maybe because the number of the population and the patient may not be good enough to hire these specially trained in some specialized area. It's not enough, so we may still need to send some patient. I'm not saying that we don't need to send at all. We still may need to send some patient there, but we also at the moment having some specialty, and they come here once a while to give some expert their expertise and their service. But probably we might need to, we might bring more. Yeah, we might do
best more. Of both worlds.
Absolutely, yeah.
I suppose the saddest thing is that we do have a very high rate of cancer here. If it's lifestyle, if it's inherited, I do not know. But to look at the Bermuda figures, from someone mentioned the other day at the opening of the center, talking about the radiation, they said that almost half the number of people living in Bermuda will encounter or experience cancer in their lifetime. And that's the American situation too. This cancer doesn't seem to be going away. Are we getting any kind of a hold on it as far as treatment is concerned?
Well, you are right, and I also noticed that when I got here, I've seen so many cancer patients within a short period. So here the number of population versus the number of cases, I believe that you are right. The incidence looks here is higher than the other area. Also, I noticed that there, some cancers are more advanced and serious. And also, I've been here only for 3 months, and now I've seen some of the rare cancer I've seen in my 15 years period. I already see within 3 months here. So it is amazing, that the number of the cases, the rarity of all kinds of cancer I've seen here. Aging is one of the risk factor, and environmental. We know, there's factors and genetic. So maybe Why the incidence and the number high here is difficult to pinpoint, but probably maybe all combination.
Premier and National Security Minister Michael Dunkley has expressed his government's full support for the men and women of the Bermuda Police Service. He told the annual general meeting of the Bermuda Police Association that its efforts had been invaluable. VSB News' Chris Lodge has more.
Premier Dunkley saying providing support at all levels to the men and women of the Bermuda Police Service is a key priority of the government in 2015. The Premier used the opportunity to touch on a range of matters to do with policing, including economic challenges as well as issues facing the community, particularly as it relates to recent incidences of gun and gang violence. And he stressed that the BPS's role has never been more important than in this current climate. The Premier saying policing has always been challenging, but since 2009 and the increase in gun violence, a new dimension has been introduced to policing. The causes of the violence and antisocial behavior are varied, but the important task of enforcement is the responsibility of one agency, and we have no qualms in turning to you, the men and women of the Bermuda Police Service. This government, he said, fully supports strong enforcement and supports the BPS in the proper execution of its duty. He said the Gang Resistance Educational and Training Program is a perfect example of police's efforts to engage our young people and show them that there are viable alternatives to a lifestyle of antisocial behavior. I'm Chris Lodge, VSB News.
And now we turn to Earl Baisden, who has information regarding international equestrian Patrick Nisbet, sailing, the Pan Am Games, Junior Golf Vecchio Cup, and Bermuda's star footballer, Naki Wells.
Bermuda international equestrian competitor Patrick Nisbet is home for the holidays. He joined me on the VSB Sports Talk radio set on 1450 AM Go to talk about when one is looking to purchase a competition horse, what are they looking for in particular?
Well, the sport's changed a lot now, so through good breeding and everything like that, it's changing a bit. So I personally, before, whereas you look for a really big, powerful horse, now the sport's much faster. So you need one that's fast enough, plus powerful enough, and most importantly, intelligent enough, because the horses now, the horses have to be intelligent horses. You can't have a big, dumb one anymore. Right. I mean, you can't do that anymore, so it changes.
I've noticed a lot that the horses are getting tighter.
Yeah.
Where the turns are the minute you're over a one,
yeah,
you're turning and you're asking the horse to accelerate right away to make it over the next. Why do you think they've made it like that?
Because mainly, we have to find a new element to keep the sport interesting. Because through breeding, like I said already, and there's a lot of well-bred horses. Really, the height is for a lot of horses now. There's a lot more horses that can jump 165 or 170 or whatever. But now they've put time back into it. So now, whereas before you could go a bit slower, but now you don't have time. If you go too slow now, you have time faults, and then you're out.
Right.
And when you go to some of the competitions like we do in Europe, there, where you could have easily 100 and 130 horses in the class.
Right.
Say, for example, if you go to a show in Belgium or Germany or Holland, for that matter, you could have 100 in the class.
Right.
And quite easily, 75 to 80 of those horse rider combinations are capable of winning the class.
Right.
So you have to do something to make it interesting, so you have to go faster.
Right. The Orange Bowl Sailing Regatta on the Biscayne Bay in Florida continued with all the fleets taking to the water, with Bermuda sailors representing the Royal Hamilton Amateur Dinghy Club and the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club. In the Optimus Green Fleet, after 12 races, Aidan Lopes started the day in 5th place, and when the dust settled, Lopes came off the water leading the fleet with 66 points. Christian Eben fell from his 2nd place starting position and is currently 7th with 84 points. Daniel Larson moved up 1 spot into 19th with 200 points, while Jacob Pimmington also moved up 1 spot and is now in 20th with 201 points. In 23rd place is Magnus Ridston with 210 points, while Ethan Edmonds is in 24th with 211 points. Mikey Woman is currently in 3rd place in the Laser 4.7 fleet after 6 races with 12 points. Edward Nordquist is currently in 26th place in the laser radar fleet with 131 points. C.C. Woolman is holding down the 28th spot with 133 points, and Paul D'Souza is currently in 29th with 144 points. Peter Dill is in 31st with 149 points, while Ben Smith is in 33rd with 164 points. Andrea Norquist is currently in 34th place with 171 points, and Samantha Dill rounds out the Bermuda participants. She's in 88th place with 371 points. The 2014 Aon Banfield Fecchio Cup got underway at the Port Royal Golf Course yesterday. Walker Campbell is currently leading the 16 to 18 age group division after a round of 75. Sam Waymeyer is in second after a round of 84, and Elizabeth Parsons is in third with a first round 86. The battle in the 13 to 15 age group white division sees Micah Ming leading by 2 strokes over Alex Mason. Ming shot an opening round 77 with Mason shooting a 79. Brady Cordero and Dakota Lamb both shot 86 to end the day tied in third. Kenny Lajoie will take a comfortable 19-stroke lead into the Open Red Division Group's second round after recording an opening round of 74. Joe Watson is in second after shooting a round of 93, with Alex Withers Clark in third following an opening round of 94. Yesterday we reported that Nikki Wells scored the Huddersfield Town winner after coming off the bench against Bolton on Sunday. However, Huddersfield Town coach Chris Powell has confirmed that he is on the lookout for a new striker in January. Powell saw top scorer Wells come off the bench to score that late winner in Sunday's 2-1 win over Bolton Wanderers. The former Charlton Athletic boss recently lost Grant Holt after the on-loan Wigan striker was returned to his parent club. He started injury-plagued forward James Vaughan and hotshot Harry Bunn up front over the weekend, but admits he is still lacking in that position. We are light up front and will be looking to strengthen that position in January, Paul said. However, he's confident Wells is a big player for the team, and despite dropping him to the bench in recent weeks, he's still confident in the Bermudian striker. Powell is quoted as saying, "Wells will get games and will score goals. He's an important player. He might not think that when he does not start, but I know 100% what he's capable of." End quote. The toughest endurance competitions at the Toronto 2015 Pan American Games will happen along Lake Ontario next summer, offering runners and cyclists and potential broadcast audience of millions of viewers an incredible view of the city skyline as they cross the finish line. Maps detailing the routes of the Pan American Marathon, Triathlon, and Cycling Road Race, as well as the Parapan Cycling Road Race, are now available. These competitions are part of the Ontario Place West Channel View contained within the CIBC Pan American Park located at the Exhibition Place. All road races in Toronto will start and finish on Lakeshore Boulevard. However, each sport will have laps of different lengths and levels of difficulty, enabling runners and cyclists to face challenging hills in High Park or a long straightaways like Lakeshore Boulevard favored by race walkers. I'm Earl Baisden reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for New Year's Eve, Wednesday, December 31st, there will be sunny breaks with a couple of morning showers. Winds will be northerly, moderate to strong, decreasing to moderate by noon. Backing northwesterly, light to moderate in the evening. We are expecting a high near 69 degrees Fahrenheit and a low near 62 Fahrenheit. This report is courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Thanks for watching VSB News Online for Tuesday, December 30th. I'm Peter Kittel.